What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine? Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.
Good morning, everybody. It is, what day is it? It's Friday. Welcome to the show, folks. I'm telling you right now, guys, I want today to be a day of reflection for every single one of you. I want you to literally reach behind you, and I want you to actually pat yourself on the back. Because you all, if you're watching this, odds are you probably own some Bitcoin or you invest in companies that work with Bitcoin. You are the early entrepreneurs and investors in the future of human collateral. Now, let me explain that. We've never had something that we can accumulate over our life and use as leverage or collateral in a loan, except really our homes. Our homes have action, and not for the wealthy, which they do it too, but a lot of us regular people, our retirement, our investment, our largest investment was always in our home. Because inflation, this is so sad, we relied on inflation in order to actually keep up with our retirement and our investments. We relied on the printing of money to increase the value of our home so that we didn't lose our asses to inflation. We've reached a point now as humans where now we have an asset, the Bitcoin and other cryptos and corporations and companies that deal in cryptos, that pay you out in cryptos. That's coming, watch for it. And this is now an asset that it doesn't have any maintenance fees. It doesn't have any depreciation over time physically, because it is a purely digital, and it's an asset of energy. This is completely new to humans, completely new to humans. And this is why so many of us have realized what what we got here. I've had so many people over the years of actually doing this show that have walked up and literally like, Ben, thank you for explaining what this was so that when I bought it, I didn't sell it. I had so many friends who, when we had our ups and our downs, who were like, dude, man, I'm down like 50%, man. Should I sell? And I'm like, no, no. Like, dude, you're 40. You aren't retiring, are you? Well, no. Then have a hot cup and shut the fuck up and enjoy your life and just keep investing. And so many people have worked their asses off, including you. This is why I say you should pat yourself on the back for even recognizing the industry so early. It's, you had the wisdom and you had the curiosity of saying, you know, everyone's kind of telling me this is magic internet money. But there's something to this. And you had the curiosity where you're like, I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna dig a little deeper. I'm gonna figure it out. And and you did. You, like me, I'm exactly like you. I just learned about it a little bit earlier than a lot of people. It's, you learned what I learned, and it took time. Dude and dudettes, when I initially got into this industry, there were very few YouTube channels that even talked about Bitcoin. There were that were relevant. I'd say maybe 8, maybe 10 at the most. And I watched those things relentlessly. And I listened to everything I could get my hands on. And there were so little that really went into economic. I mean, early on, the ones I really watched was Andreessen, or Ananopolis, whatever the hell his name. That guy needs to change his name to Bob. I remember watching him, and he explained it very simply, very economically, very matter-of-factly. And this was a lot of us early adopters were kind of woo-woo people. Exactly. Some of us went way too far down the rabbit hole thanks to Bitcoin. Yeah. Well, that rabbit hole and the many rabbit holes we all went down, they showed us a lot of the real world. They showed us what was really going on, because they really relied on critical thinking. And a lot of us learned critical thinking very effectively, where all of a sudden there's all this shit that's kind of going on, you know, COVID, and we had seen enough where we were like, wait a second, this seems kind of crazy. There's something wrong with it. It doesn't smell right. There's something wrong with this. And we were the people who realized, hey, because as soon as you got into cryptos and you went down the Federal Reserve hole and how it was created, what it was for, what it was used for, World War I, World War II. Once you realize that the Federal Reserve was created for war, that it literally, it's what, remember guys, during World War II, the guy in charge of the Federal Reserve was brothers with the guy in charge of the Federal Reserve in, I think, Germany. They were brothers. Once you kind of went down that hole, you're like, well, wait, hang on a second. The guy in charge of the American Federal Reserve is brothers with the guy in charge of the German Federal Reserve. That doesn't make sense. How the hell are they brothers? They're brothers because they were on the same team. They were the same bloodline. They were the right people for the right job. And it made you think, wait a second, hang on. What is the job of the Federal Reserve? Because we all know they couldn't have World War II or World War I or World War II without the Federal Reserve System. Couldn't have. No way. Not possible. Because the American people, they were nationalists. They were like, wait a second, this has got nothing to do with us. Why the fuck are we getting involved in there? Hence the false flags. Yeah. And then they create the CIA. They create the FBI. They create all of these agencies to protect us. Well, now that it's basically come out that they were created to actually take us over, we see it now. We absolutely see it now. These agencies were not created to protect America. They were created to protect and expand the reach of the progressive movement into the government of the United States. Eisenhower warned us. The military-industrial complex. Guys, we never had a military that was an active, ready military until after World War I. Actually, after World War II. We now have military, right? We now have military 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Guys, we don't need that. We don't need that if we leave other countries alone. See, the real sad truth is China don't want to go to war with us. They don't want jack shit to do with the outside world. In fact, they're rolling in even more. Remember, these are the people who they built a wall around their country. You think that Trump loves his wall? These motherfuckers, they actually created a wall 1,000 years before we even thought about doing a wall. These are wall building motherfuckers. And because Chinese value China and China values Chinese. They don't give a flying fuck. Right? All of the countries in the world that are having immigration issues are only the countries of the West. You notice that? China ain't letting in not a motherfucker. China's like, yeah, you see that wall? It's there for a fucking reason. Because they value their culture. It's just how it is. And anyone who's ever went to China or knows real Chinese people, these are, you talk about racist, and I don't mean racist in a negative. These are racists who just value their race. They value their culture. They are not really racist, they're culturalist. That's what most people are. They're culturalists. Yeah, Japan just elected a new prime minister. And she's like, yeah, fuck this bullshit. We're kicking out everybody who ain't legal. If you're here illegally, and in some cases, if you're here legally and you're not lining up with if you aren't lining up with our culture, you're done, folks. You're out of China. China go bye-bye. But someone asks, so why is China stealing territories? See, you use the word stealing. Which ones are you talking about? Are they offering economic assistance to other countries so they have influence in those countries? Yes. Just like America does. Just like Canada does. Just like Great Britain. Just like Japan. Just like Korea. Yeah, it's we're at a point now where the globe is changing, folks. The globe is changing. And it isn't just a physical change. It's an economic change. And it's a shift. It's a shift because AI and robotics is a shift that's going to change. Guys, like I explained, I think it was earlier this week, like I explained, robots, look at robots like this. We can now launch humans out of a factory. Human labor, and I mean all types of human labor, can now be produced out of a factory with a humanoid. Elon Musk says they'll be rolling out about 100,000 of them before the end of this year. Not next year, not 2026, 2025. And they're already bought. They're already reserved. Like I showed you guys, I think it was yesterday or the day before. One of our associates at our company, she was at the gym and there was a robot there walking around and having conversations with the people, and this guy's walking around is giving high fives. It's a humanoid robot. Guys, our economy, our whole global economy has actually been built around and adjusted actually based on human labor. These robots, listen to this, guys. The operations cost of these robots is about $1 an hour. All right, no, I'm sorry. Right now, about $3 an hour. And they work 24 hours a day. They don't call in sick. They don't have any emotional problems. They don't have to go to the bathroom. Hell, a lot of these warehouses don't even have lights. Look it up. They're actually, I think they're called dark warehouses or something like that. We've actually talked about this. Housing. Carpenters, get ready. These robots will be replacing carpenters. They will be replacing plumbers. They will be replacing delivery drivers. Look at it like this. What's about to happen, and quicker, is the Uberification of human labor. And Uber is about to get disrupted with driverless cars. Humans have worked their way and used ingenuity and advancement in technology to make ourselves no longer needed in the economy. And that's the economy we're going into. And the reason I bring this all up now is we're moving into, and that's why I want you guys to literally pat yourselves on the back, because housing is no longer the pristine collateral. It never was pristine. Now, J.P. Morgan, oh yeah, that guy, J.P. Morgan, has now announced that they will accept Bitcoin and Ether as collateral for a loan. Jamie Dimon, the head of J.P. Morgan, 3 years ago said the Bitcoin's going to be outlawed by the government. Well, that may have been true when he said it, judging by who the president was, or not really the president, that fucking weekend at Bernie's motherfucker, but more of the people around the president, ex-president. They didn't want Bitcoin because it takes away their power. It takes away their ability to manipulate. And it gives people a place to run away from their inflationary tactics. Because you have to remember, progressives believe that the world has to be managed. You have to have regulations. You have to have everyone looking over your shoulder. So you have to be supervised in your life so you don't make silly little decisions. And we're starting to see, guys, for those of you who read the Bible, what is Revelations? Revelations is just the revealing. That's it. That's what Revelations means. It means to reveal. Whole lot of revealing going on right now. I mean, the revealing is even entering the NBA. And if anyone thinks that it's only the NBA, that, maybe LeBron James kind of threw up a few bricks or something just to, what the hell? Guys, we're human. Humans are flawed. You think that the NBA, guys, we have, I think it was New York Yankees. Yes, 1909. Was it 1909 or 1919? I don't remember. New York Yankees, whole goddamn team, whole team got caught fucking throwing the game. That was 1909 or 9. Somebody check that, will you? Because that's going to annoy the piss clean out of me. 1909 or 1919. I think it had a 9 in it. It's did yes, White Sox. Thank you. I think that included Shoeless Joe Jackson. Am I right on that? Shoeless Joe Jackson? Yeah, the Chicago Black Sox. Yeah. Yeah, it's guys, look at the government like this. And not just the government. Look at the government and look at a lot of these organizations we hold up high. These are a collection of manipulators. These are a collection. All right. Perfect examples, the federal government, any government. The government sees itself as an information filter to you. Well, that's why we got so much trouble. Well, we can't tell you what's going on with aliens because if we told you, then you guys would know, and we wouldn't be able to manipulate you so much if you didn't think that the government was the ultimate power. If the government came out and flat out just said, yes, there are aliens. Yes, we got some ships. We kind of don't know how to work them. And yes, we got some alien bodies here and there. I mean, if they said that, people would flip. And not flip out. They would just flip their perception and go, oh, so we're actually part of a global, universal community, a universe community. There's other entities out there. Well, that would actually that would take a lot of the power of the government out, because then we just look, which most of us do this already, we just look at ourselves as just a human on a planet full of humans. Black, white, yellow, green, wouldn't matter. We're all humans. We're earthlings. We live on Earth. Because if we knew our true history, a whole lot of people would be like, well, what the fuck? Why the fuck am I doing all this bullshit? And if we really knew what we were, what humans were, a lot of people would be like, wait, what? You mean I've been putting up with all this bullshit? This is a great question. So, what is 3-Eye Atlas? I heard a theory. Think about this. 3-Eye at last. I'm just going to throw that out there. All right. Is that a psyop? Q did say we weren't alone. Guys, we all know we're not alone. All right. I don't know anyone who is like, yeah, there's no other life in the universe. There's no other life. Really? That's like a fish out in the ocean going, I'm the only fish. Just me. Because I can't see any other fish around me. I've seen some weird things, though. I saw this big thing, kind of looked like a fish, but I wasn't sure because it swam away and I couldn't swim fast enough. But I don't know. I still think I'm alone in the ocean. Yeah, it's I I and I think Trump. Oh, hang on 1 second. Word from the sponsor. Yeah, let me learn how to work this damn thing. Hang on, where is it? Oh, there it
Your
is.
Bitcoin's sitting idle. Time to make it work. Private Key Capital, the world's first fully Bitcoin-backed financial institution, lets you earn 4% APY on your Bitcoin. Enjoy Bitcoin savings accounts, secure custody, Bitcoin-backed loans, fiat on-off ramps, and exclusive member benefits. This is crypto banking reimagined. Early members get the best rates. Join Private Key Capital today and start earning 4%.
Yeah, that's Private Key Capital is coming soon, folks. In fact, we are opening up our first location in West Palm Beach. I think Jay picks up the keys today. I think so. Awesome. Jay, love you, brother. Okay. I am in the RV. This is Trump. Guys, listen to what he said. Listen to what he has said. Trump's rolling out the truth slowly, just because they're gathering evidence, because now he finally has people around him that will actually get shit done and actually get the real information out there. I mean, a lot of truth is coming out on what happened with COVID. A lot of truth. I mean, look, just yesterday, they announced that they're going to release all the information on chemtrails. Wait, what? The federal government is going to release all the information on chemtrails. How many years were we told we were crazy? Not just chemtrails, but on weather modification. Guys, gals, pat yourself on the back, because what I always found fucking hilarious is you'd look up in the sky and you'd see a chemtrail. Next thing you know, it shapes into a fucking cloud. That's odd. And they're like, nothing to see here. Nothing. No, you didn't see a line that was coming off of a airplane that eventually formed into a cloud and then led to weather. Why is it? It's like we have evidence. Yeah. 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 Listen to this. The skies have been clear here in is that Wisconsin? I think it is. Yeah, since the shutdown. Yeah, guys. Let me tell you exactly what this is. COVID was the progressive shutdown. That's what COVID was. This is the Trump shutdown and reset. COVID was the progressive shutdown and reset. And Trump shutting it down and resetting it. And as he does it, he knows he has to slowly send out truth for those looking for it. And we're receiving information more and more on the agenda of the left. Why do you think the left is freaking out so bad? Why do you think the left is freaking out so bad? Because Trump has already shut down a lot of the agencies that were sending money to them. Yeah. The NBA just got reset too. Well, guys, I think we're reaching a point in technology that everything's going to be revealed eventually. Everything is revealed. We're living in a new world, and we don't even realize the new world we're moving into. Now, you, once again, I want you to pat yourself on the back. You were early. You recognized there's something wrong. What the hell's going on here? And you recognized Bitcoin. And you recognized an agenda of the progressives. Now, you may or may not have known exactly what was going on, but the old sniffer sniffed it out. And you're like, I don't know exactly what's going on, but I know this shit ain't right. And then I showed you guys on my show how in 1917, Trump used that date over and over again. He kept saying, it's just like 1917. It's just like 1917. After you get off watching my show, look up on YouTube, Trump 1917 clips or something. He mentioned 1917 about 100 and something times, maybe more than that. That's because he was pointing you to 1917. Because 1917 was the Spanish flu. Look up the pictures. Everyone had on masks. There were mass graves. There were like a bunch of people dying everywhere. But thank God they came out with a treatment for the flu. Guess what it was? Aspirin. And guess how much they were telling them to take? A lot more than they should have. And what happens when you overdose on aspirin? Your lungs fill up with water, fluid, and you suffocate. Remember, oh guys, I can go way down this hole. And the 1917, there was so much going on. And then what happened in 1920, the Red Scare. And what did we see during the Red Scare? That's when we first got introduced to Antifa. Yes, our good old buddies Antifa. Yes. This is just a repeat of the progressive playbook. That's it. They repeat it every revolutionary cycle. And this repeat because they're progressives, which means slowly revolutionize America. Slowly. Don't have a war. Slowly revolutionize America progressively. And they do it generationally. They have a huge event, Civil War, and then they have the next huge event approximately when the last generation that would have remembered the Civil War dies. Then they have another event, World War I, World War II. Then they have another event, the Great Financial Crisis and COVID. Every generation, so they can push a little further each generation because they infiltrated the universities. So as the people were at work and their children went to public schooling, the children could get indoctrinated to lead the next push of the progressive revolution. Bingo. So no one lives long enough to recognize the bullshit. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. It's called generational memory loss. Here's an example. My grandfather had a lot more hands-on knowledge than I did, or I do, right? You're good. There's a great example is a recipe. Your grandmother had a certain recipe. Well, she also had a more limited amount of ingredients in that recipe. But now your mom actually makes that same recipe. Well, the reason that your mom remembers the recipe from your grandmother is because your grandmother either had it in a cookbook or she passed it down. Now, you also love that food because like, my grandmother used to make it, my mom makes it. It's knowledge of the recipe. Well, if your grandmother wouldn't have taught that knowledge of a recipe to your mother, she wouldn't know how to cook it. Yeah. Secret societies. Absolutely. Absolutely. Secret societies were really just organizations that, I mean, we have them now. All right. What's a great example of a right now secret society? Foreign Council. God, what's that one thing? Information of, CFR. That's a secret society. Now, there are people who, exactly, Council on Foreign Relations. That's a secret society. Show me where I can go and ask questions to the people on the Council on Foreign Relations. Let me go in there and figure out exactly what they're doing. They're not going to let me do jack shit. Exactly. The Bilderbergs, Skull and Bones. Absolutely. These are all secret societies that are just, I mean, in the old days, everyone knew about the Freemasons, but they didn't know what they did because they weren't, if you weren't part of the Freemasons, exactly, UNESCO. Yep. The Fabian Society, another secret society that you didn't know jack shit about unless you were at the London, uh, 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 London, London School of Economics. Everything is changing. The old world is dying. The old, and this is the key, the old knowledge, what we thought we knew, is going away. Absolutely. It's all organized crime families, bloodlines. When when you say the word bloodline, I think that's one word. Yeah. Bloodline to a normie, they think you're like, oh my God, that's crazy. That is just absolutely nuts. That makes no sense until you give them some context. You have to remember, before the Civil War, listen to me, folks, this is important. Before the Civil War and early, and the rest of history pre-Civil War, there weren't employees. Odds are, if your dad was a shoemaker, guess what? You learned how to fucking make shoes. If your dad was an iron worker, guess what? You learned how to work iron. The bloodlines is why there's a last name of shoemaker. There's a last name of carpenter because your bloodline was of carpenters. Your bloodline was of shoemakers. Your bloodline was Smith, which is an iron worker or a silversmith. Usually Smiths were silversmiths. Exactly like baker. Guess what they were? They were bakers. Yeah, it's, yes, the 13 tribes modern bloodline. Yeah, it's, remember what I told you yesterday. Greece, the biggest city in Greece, in the heyday of Greece, the biggest city was Athens. It had a population of, what was it, like 75,000 people? 75,000 people at the heyday of Greece. Back in the old days with the philosophers. Guys, there are little bitty towns that got more than 75,000 people in it. Hell, look at New Jersey. New Jersey's got more than 75,000 people in it, and Greece is bigger than New Jersey. Let that sink in. Yeah, the rulers were all related. They were the lords. They were the royalty. Someone's alarm's like going off or something. I don't think it's mine.
I touched, I didn't realize the deep was locked.
I guess that was mine. All right, guys and gals. Today, I want you to reflect. And I want you to pat yourself on the back. All right? And I want you to think to yourself, I'm so glad I got involved with Bitcoin and cryptos. I'm so glad I got involved in the industries. Guys, the Bitcoin is the future economic system of the globe. JP Morgan has just officially made it capital. Capital. Lendable capital. Let me tell you what that means. The money market is about to change because the money market is about to flow into the new capital globally. So many people have put and I'm talking foreigners that have been buying American housing and property and condos. Yeah. They held it to reserve their capital with maintenance costs, taxes. So in the future, if they needed to, they could sell it or they could borrow against it. This is the recognition. JP Morgan, the largest bank in the world, just recognized the Bitcoin as capital and collateral. This changes the game globally. They're the biggest bank in the world. Do you think the rest of the banks are going to be like, well, son of a bitch? We're off to the races, folks. Off to the races. Because now there is a recognized capital that doesn't require maintenance. It don't need new windows. It doesn't need a new driveway. You don't need insurance in case a hurricane blows through. You can now invest in a capital product that you can now lend against at JP Morgan. Hence why we launched and we're rolling out private key. What? Wait, what did we call it? Private key capital. Guys, a lot of the value held as collateral is about to flow into the Bitcoin. And a lot of the companies that deal in the industry are going to lead this charge. Because who do you trust more? Do you trust me and my organization and our private capital company that is out of El Salvador, fully regulated structure? This is how we think. Our structure has, this is how crazy we are. Our structure for our capital company has a dead man switch, where if anything happens, the government goes crazy. We hit one friggin' button and it unlocks all of the wallets, everything, where if you have an account, you can pull it right out. Even if it's in an interest-bearing account, if the government loses their fucking mind, we hit one switch, your friggin' Bitcoin is right back to you. And you hold your own keys on the app. And you can earn interest on the app. And with all of our friggin' programs, half off home loans, lending, credit cards, guys, I don't trust JP Morgan as far as I can throw them. I don't trust BlackRock. I don't trust any of these old system, right? Old system players. I don't trust not a single motherfucker. Not at all. Why? Because look where they got us. That's why me and my organization, it's why it's the people that are actually creating the system for the people. JP Morgan, you do you. But I don't trust you, brother. I don't trust you motherfuckers at all. You're a bunch of sneaky sons of bitches. And they'll create another system, and they'll figure out how to screw the little guy, because the little guy generates the energy that they manipulate. Okay, guys, I love you guys, and I will see you guys on Monday morning. Bye-bye.
What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine, Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.